Backs will dribble this.
Vucevic will launch on the money.
In Baton Rouge, but it's Arkansas tonight. LSU led by 1 at the break. Hogs outscored them by 13 in the second half. 70-58 the final.
This is the Morning Rush.
I think this fits the bill for what happened last night. You got your head bobbing over there. I hadn't listened to this song in a while. It's a good song. Turn that up a little bit, Colton. Arkansas took care of business last night, 70-58 against the LSU Tigers, avenging a loss earlier this season. Man, LSU was terrible in that second half. Arkansas shot 60%. The Tigers shot like 30-something. Ended up 39 for the game. Didn't get to the free throw line. They nearly got to the line 30 times against the Razorbacks in Baton Rouge. Weren't able to do that at all last night. Thursday morning edition of the Morning Rush. If you want to jump in here, give us your thoughts on the game last night or anything else, you can do so at 877-377-6963.
All right, that's where we begin this morning. It's a How About Them Hogs Thursday. I know we also call it Too Stupid Thursday, but how about them Hogs? Hey, Super Bowl behind us, March Madness just around the corner. If you haven't downloaded the Oaklawn Sports app, now's the time to do it. We got an exciting finish coming up for college basketball's regular season. 1 versus 2 this weekend. You'll find all the lines probably tomorrow sometime at the Oaklawn Sports app. Plus, you'll have plenty of opportunities to do live wagering and other options there as well. And really any sport you could think of, from March Madness and men's basketball to, the obscure stuff like darts and crickets and a whole lot, or cricket, I should say. It's not plural, it's cricket. You can find it there at the Oaklawn Sports app. Plus, check out the 10% profit boost with parlays right now. When the odds are plus 1,000, you can get a 10% boost with Oaklawn Sports. So, bet with the brand you trust anywhere in Arkansas. Bet with Oaklawn Sports.
Hope you bet on the Hogs last night. They covered for you, depending on where the line you got. I think it opened about 8.5 and then ended up around 10 or so. So not only
that was a little dicey though.
Yes, it was. I'm watching that game and I'm listening to Dallin Cuff is back in studio for ESPN, and he's making references. He's making innuendos to betting lines throughout the halftime and the cut-ins and whatnot. And so I'm just cracking up as I'm listening to him do it prior to Arkansas's game, and I'm watching late down the stretch. I didn't have any money on the game last night, but the game was out of reach for LSU. McMahon called his guys off. They didn't foul down the stretch. The only thing I was monitoring, like a lot of other people down the stretch of that game, is Arkansas going to cover? Or is LSU going to backdoor them? And luckily, the Razorbacks, if you had money on that game, were able to cover. I got a couple texts because I had a few client meetings yesterday, and it was funny because I had 2 clients ask me, and they were like, "Should I bet on the Hogs tonight?" I was like, "Hammer them." And I'm getting nervous because I get 2 texts last night. One of them said, "You're lucky."
Be careful giving out betting advice.
It said, "You're lucky they covered last night. I was coming after you." It's like, well, I don't give much good advice, and last night was more lucky than
my advice
good.
Is whatever I say, go the
opposite
direction.
way. Do the opposite
I was
way.
right last night. Someone asked me yesterday, and I said, hammer the Hogs. And they weren't. I said, well, just go opposite of me. That usually works out better for most people's wallet. We go opposite.
I am curious. I wasn't here last week. I'm curious what our Fence Man Friday pick sounds like based on what was picked last week. We don't have any football anymore. I don't think we're going to start picking the UFL or the XFL or whatever it's called. I don't even know the name of what the league is this spring that's still going on. But we do have plenty of good SEC basketball games, including number 1 versus number 2. First time that's ever happened in SEC history. But back to what happened last night. Last night was a game you had to win. There's not a lot of benefit for winning, but there's a lot of bad things that could happen if you lose, most notable being a loss on your resume that could prohibit you from making the NCAA tournament. One of the questions I had, and I wanted to ask you all this morning at 877-377-6963. The SEC brand in college sports is hated outside of the South because of the success, because of the money, and because of the dominance. You think about football. I always reference, since 2006, the Southeastern Conference, I wish Arkansas was a part of this, but they're not, has been in every national championship or semifinal since 2006. The last 4 years in baseball, they've won the national championship. basketball hasn't been dominant. You haven't won a national championship in over 10 years. Auburn, I think, is the last team to make a Final Four back in 2019. When it gets to bracketology time, I was listening to Jerry Baum on Chuck and Bo this morning talking about kind of what he foresees number of teams getting in. I realize that there are mid-majors. I realize that there are other components to what could knock SEC teams out. But I wonder if there's going to be like any SEC fatigue. Like, this conference already owns football, even though the last 2 years have gone to a Big Ten teams in Michigan, Ohio State. We know they own baseball, 4 straight national championships, countless more last decade or so. Like, can you own basketball too? And will there be?
I think no. I think no is the answer because you haven't owned the national title in football the last 2 years. The Big Ten has had that, so I think that squelches some of that. We live in our own little SEC bubble here. So this is what we talk about. We talk about, the team we love and the Razorbacks, and we talk about the teams they play. I don't think people are just now around the country tuning into basketball. We've been on it for a while, but, outside of local, it's NFL was still king. College football just ended, less than a month ago. So, I don't think there's SEC fatigue in basketball. I don't even think that's on the radar.
What my thought is like the annoyance of the conference overall, because contrary to popular belief, people do have biases when they're on committees. They act like they don't, but they do, and they act like that they're personal. Not vendettas. That might be too extreme of a word. They're human beings,
but they're more anonymous than the college football playoff.
Yes, like you at least can rattle off 1 or 2 people on the committee. I have no idea who's on the college basketball selection committee. I don't know what SEC ties there or whatnot. I just thought to myself, is there a kind of the SEC owns the 2 other sports, or people like it? It's not even like I'm not talking about keeping like 5 notable SEC teams out. I'm talking about keeping like 1 or 2. Because having 13 in is just absurd to me. But it could happen.
Here's why I think that's not going to happen is the ACC. You heard Seth Greenberg talking about this last night, and the studio guys talking about the lack of Quad 1 opportunities in the ACC. And they were breaking down that tremendous finish with Wake Forest last night. Did you see that?
Yeah, it was
holy moly.
That point guard who jacked it from 35's an idiot.
I'd have called timeout to choke him. But anyway, point being,
I'm in favor of execution.
Yeah.
Of the Brian Kelly.
Point being, the ACC is going to be like the SEC was 15 years ago or whatever.
Dreadful.
Yeah, so
you got what? Louisville,
Duke,
Clemson,
and then maybe Clemson. So you just go through the Quad 1 opportunities, and that's not going to be a very deep conference. And by the way, thank you, Louisville, for getting your Louisville. Let me say it right. Louisville. Thank you for getting your game over promptly last night, so we didn't start late and have to dig out tablets or find ESPN News. Thank you.
And they win.
That's Louisville.
They win
Louisville. It's
Louisville. They win pretty wide margin over NC State.
One syllable. Louisville.
Which NC State is like their fellow North Carolina school. Unlike their arch rival Duke, has fallen apart this season. Kevin Keats, I don't know what his future is, but did you see the guy in the Bane mask? For I want to say he was on Louisville. He might have been on NC State, but he had like a Bane mask on.
I didn't watch any of that game. I was watching some other stuff and then flipped over about 5 till and just saw, hey, there was 55 seconds to go. I said, all right.
I'm like, I had that in the rundown. I said, thanks for the big win, Louisville, just to make it, because the game started on time. And technically, I know it says 8 o'clock, but it started like 8:05 or whatever based on the actual. It's always like a couple minutes off.
Change the channel.
Yes, that's the most important thing. The setup. What did you make of last night's game? We got a text from JT who's listening in Laurel, Mississippi this morning, and this is actually JT. This is a comparison that I wasn't willing to make just yet. Chet's a little more versatile. I think I saw it in college and definitely seeing it now for the Thunder, but he kind of puts Big Z into that Chet Holmgren category, and that's a good timing for our opening drive.
Those guys have been to Omaha. They've been eliminated in their own regional twice. They've had the highest of highs and lowest of lows, and they both struggled. Having those two in our locker room is big. I think, again, I keep calling it modern day Division I baseball. Having some guys that have been in your program for a couple, 3 years is just big for the rest of the team.
This is the opening drive presented by First Financial Mortgage in Fort Smith.
I forgot. What's up? Oh, you're kicking something. I forgot. I flipped. I had a Big Z highlight, and then I forgot Dave spoke yesterday, so I flipped that. But to finish the Big Z conversation, Big Z has scored 50-plus points in these last 2 games. He was prolific. He was fantastic. He was spectacular in last night's performance. 10 of 13, just knocked him down 3 after 3. He's the only guy. The second highest scoring total on the team, Tommy, was 11, and that was from John L. Davis, who didn't shoot the ball well. He's 4 of 15, but Big Z knocks down 3 of 5 threes. He had that one heat check 3 where it was like a step back, fade away to the side, and it was, I don't think Cal was too happy on that, which was kind of funny. The only time he was probably like just wanted to choke out Big Z last night, but man, he's strung together some good performances. I don't know if he's going to be able to do that against the front court of Texas A&M and Auburn, which are much better than what he's played. I say much better. Alabama had a pretty good front court. He was just awesome in that game. But I'm curious if he can string together another game like this.
He affects half-court possessions and shots when he doesn't even touch the ball. His wingspan, you may know what it is, but it takes up so much space, and you see dribble drivers against Arkansas alter their path, alter their arms and the delivery of the shot just because he's nearby.
Yeah.
Just him lurking in the neighborhood on a low block will make someone do something different. And even if he swats and misses, he's getting better about not fouling. He doesn't have that big, heavy frame, so he's able to get up there. And I think sometimes he gets too quick with his arms. And listen, I'm not a coach, but I watch these guys, and what kills guys a lot of time on verticalities, their arms come down. I think he gets so quick to swat trying to block. He didn't have to because these guys are, 6-8 inches shorter. And then you add his wingspan, it probably is effectively a foot. And he can just kind of sit back, and he can even cap the ball on him. That might be a jump ball, but I mean, he alters possessions when he doesn't even actually defend or touch the ball.
A couple big guys drove by him last night, and because of that wingspan you referred to, he was able to catch up with them and block them from behind. Right. So that was an element, Colton, that not a lot of other people have.
Even guards on the drive. I just think sometimes he comes down with the arms so fast in an attempt to make a play on the ball, he can wait on them to come up to him.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Meeting him at the apex, what they talked about last night in the game, I think that he's gotten a lot better at that. One thing, though, on the inverse, offensively, he's been trying to get that little baby hook in his post game to get to work, and he's finally got a little bit more of that touch, and it showed last night because the Razorbacks had 40 points in the paint, and a lot of those are due to Big Z getting in position and just using that height to the inverse, Tommy, to go over the top of them because he's so tall. It's so easy for him.
The pick and roll was working for them last night.
There's a couple good ones.
No question about it. No, Cal was sick after the game, so we heard from Chin Coleman. We heard from also Kenny Payne, and here was what Coach Payne had to say about Big Z.
There's a difference in a player that's 7'1" that just shoot threes. Now you're seeing the maturation of the young man who is now cutting to the basket, dunking the ball, jump hooks, turnaround J's, finishing around the basket to go with the threat of the three.
That's got to be really encouraging for John Calipari in this basketball team if they again have that. Now, again, I had a highlight for Big Z. I flipped it out this morning. So our opening drive, I'm going to replay this. We're going to rewind, replay. Here's what Dave, as we switch conversations to baseball, which we're one day out. We'll tell you about the time changes coming up in just a sec. But one of the things that we put out yesterday that a lot of people reacted to and that really stood out to me in Dave's press conference was what he said about the additions, and these are guys that have been around campus for a while, of Will McIntyre, Brian Zone, Bryant Hornet, and Kendall Diggs.
Those guys have been to Omaha. They've been eliminated in their own regional twice. They've had the highest of highs and lowest of lows, and they both struggled. Having those two in our locker room is big. I think, again, I keep calling it modern-day Division I baseball. Having some guys that have been in your program for a couple, 3 years is just big for the rest of the team.
Now, Arkansas basketball doesn't necessarily have some guys like that. DJ's played for Cal, Big Z's played for Cal, and then also Adu's played for Cal. But you don't have a guy that, I think, Colton, help me on this. Are they on their 5th or 6th years? I think they're on their 5th.
These guys are in their 5th years.
Yeah, their 5th year. So they've been on campus for 5 straight years. And what I think, listen, you got a lot of new names in baseball, a lot of guys that you're not familiar with, which is understandable based on the roster turnover that you're going to see here and everywhere else. But it is nice to know that you have two guys that, again, an Arkansas kid and a guy that's really likable that has been in some big moments here in his Fayetteville career. And that's an easy, as you heard Dave just say, Tommy, an easy thing for Dave Van Horn to kind of rest on a little bit, knowing guys what their expectations are as a coaching staff, and he knows what to expect out of those two on a daily basis.
And I think James Teague really framed it correctly yesterday when he joined us, and talking about let's get a couple of weeks and a couple of weekends into the series before we start, coming to conclusions on what this team is, what players are. Let's get down to Arlington and play some competition that's on the same footing with you. Not that Washington State's not going to be, but sometimes the beginning of the year you're not starting always out with a team maybe like a Washington State. But let's see where we're at, because I think playing in the cold in mid-February in Fayetteville isn't always a good example of what this team can be come May and June.
Think about Hagen's start last season, and based on his Hagen was terrible last year.
Was it first inning he gave up 9 runs? I forget what it was. It's a stupid amount of runs.
Yeah, so you think about how he ended the season the year before and didn't have a good show in his sophomore year, and then to start, and people were freaking out. I remember taking calls and texts on this show, and people were scared. And I can't remember who it was, but
the Illinois State maybe last year to open, and it was a terrible first inning. Yeah. He got ran, and then goes down to Arlington
and pitches 18 strikeouts, I think, against Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
And Phil, I still have Phil's called and printed in my head. It's like, you've never seen anything like this. And as Arkansas fans, I definitely haven't. Maybe some of you that have followed baseball more closely than I have can name a pitcher outing that you've seen.
But we all jumped off the bridge way too soon.
And then he gets a dome. He snaps back in at Globe Life, which they're going to be at next weekend. Weather's not going to be great. I know it's a little cold, a little chilly here across the state of Arkansas. When you look at what's happening at Baum Walker Stadium this weekend, tomorrow, a low of 25 degrees and a high of 48. Saturday is now, Friday's the doubleheader now. Saturday, you've got a little rain, possibly, which is a low of 30, high of 54. No game on Sunday because of how cold it's going to be. And then Monday, it's a low of 18 and a high of 44. So that's kind of what the setup looks like this weekend.
The 2 games Friday, 1 Saturday, nothing Sunday, 1 Monday.
So
hopefully the weather doesn't, hopefully that forecast stays in the right pattern and they don't have to move anything again.
Yep. To your point, the 2 games Friday, first one starts at noon on most of these ESPN Arkansas radio stations. Phil and Bubba will be, I'm so used to saying courtside, will be up top in the press box at 11:30 at Baum Walker. Saturday, like we said, at 2, and then Monday is at noon. That's the setup.
The Saturday game will join. I got to check what we're doing because we got the basketball game at 11. So we'll get into that after the basketball game. So good thing is they don't play at the same time.
Nope, that is kind of your setup and what it looks like here at Baum Walker Stadium this weekend. All right, that is your opening drive here this morning. Got a chance to catch up with Ethan Adamson yesterday. He's busy like a lot of you are, but he's still got time for you. Give him a call at 479-782-9300. Ethan's been in the industry for over 10 years now with First Financial Mortgage. I was actually talking to a banker friend of mine yesterday, and he was really impressed with the amount of reviews that Ethan's been able to accumulate. Over 300 5-star reviews. I tell you all the time about the experience that I was able to have with Ethan, and it's not just like a one-time experience. Like, I'm going to use Ethan again whenever I refinance or if I buy another house and I have to figure out the mortgage process again. Ethan's going to be my guy for the rest of my life because he did a great job the first time, and I know he's done a great job for countless others. One more time, 479-782-9300 or online at ffb1.com. First Financial Mortgage, in the business of you, equal housing lender.
Hope Coach Cal's feeling better. You mentioned he missed the post-game interview last night, and I know many stick around now. There wasn't an overwhelming crowd with the weather last night, but hopefully it's better for his radio show Monday night. They'll be back at Sassy's, the location just off the Weddington exit. They do that most Monday nights unless they're traveling Monday for a road game on Tuesday. Was that Auburn game on Tuesday? I need to check.
I think it's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday, so they'll be there Monday night with Coach Cal live. And you can stop in Sassy's. Be a good place for Valentine's weekend. And you can enjoy that at Sassy's. 2 locations in Fayetteville. And you can always look online at sassysbarbecue.com. Eat, drink, and be sassy.
You got the one you needed. last night against LSU, the one you had to have, right? So now you've got 2 games where you've got a free shot again. Will it be as emotional as when you went to Rupp Arena? No. But you got 2 really good basketball teams. Texas A&M and Buzz Williams are going to give you everything you've got. They haven't played well, and I'm talking about Arkansas now in College Station recently. We'll see if Cal has something cooked up for the squad this weekend. And then again, Auburn. They've got their massive game this weekend against Alabama. Whether they win or lose, that's an emotional game. That's the Kentucky-Arkansas game for them. How will they respond come Wednesday night following a win or loss to their arch rival, the Crimson Tide, in the biggest college basketball game of the season? So if you could somehow, do I think you're going to? No. I think you're going to go 0-2 in this stretch, and you're going to have to come back and beat Missouri in another ranked matchup next Saturday. But man, if you picked off one of these games, these next 2, you'd be in a world of good news coming down the stretch.
Now, I don't want to get cart in front of horse because A&M's going to be a tough challenge, but just based on what you said there, 1 versus 2, emotional in-state rivalry, is it possible you're catching Auburn at the perfect time?
Yes, I would have liked to catch them in this Vanderbilt game, and Vanderbilt, I know, lost either last night or the night before, I don't remember what it was, or after. Like, if you get them right around here, that's not meaning the difference of the game, but it definitely helps you more than it hurts you.
All right, you mentioned it earlier. Tomorrow we'll check in on our Fence Man Friday picks. We'll pick some college basketball, including 1 versus 2, the Iron Bowl of basketball. We'll do that tomorrow in our Fence Man Friday picks. If you need anything involving a fence, gate, powered automatic gates, security fencing, razor wire fencing, anything that you can imagine that would protect your home or business and give you a better look and more curb appeal and give you the security you're looking for, the Fence Man can help you with that. 782-3936 is their number, 479-782-3936. The Fence Man, he ain't afraid of no work.
Hog Update coming up. What did a couple coaches have to say about Arkansas's performance last night?
First, I want to apologize for Coach not being here. I know you guys probably wanted Gladys Knight, but you got one of the pips, so I'm happy to step in for Gladys tonight.
You're listening to the Morning Rush.
Oh, that bitch that train, Georgia.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Now, for a limited time, employee pricing is back at the #1 fifth wheel dealer in Arkansas, Wheels RV. That's right, employee pricing is back, and you pay what our employees pay on a huge selection of select new and used RVs, plus some 2025 models included. You'll find all your favorite brands, such as Grand Design, Brinkley, Forest River, Vibe, Novo, and Flagstaff. Plus, you get a lifetime warranty on every new RV sold. Employee pricing exclusively at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV, located 5 miles west of I-49 in Tawnytown. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man, he ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Richmond on the offensive end. Pick and roll, pick C, and a two-hand flush. The assist from Richmond. Couldn't draw it up any better.
This is the Morning Rush.
Are you ready to indulge in an unforgettable fine dining experience? Then come join us at Uncorked, where every meal is a masterpiece, crafted with the finest ingredients to tantalize your taste buds. And with our extensive selection of cocktails, wine, craft beer, and bourbons, we've got something for everyone. So why not take a break from the ordinary and join us on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodi's? Come savor the moment with us at Uncorked, where every visit is a celebration.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here from Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you Roland. If you're looking for the best used car your money can buy, check out our great selection of road ready certified vehicles with warranty. If you're trading or selling your car, let us give you a free second opinion and leave with a check in your hand. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in the Meineke Car Care Center. Plus, follow us on Facebook for special offers and fun contests. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, Fort Smith.
It's sad that we live in an unsafe world, but we do. Would you be able to show the police who was at your home if something was taken? Guardtronic installs alarm systems as well as camera systems. We here at ESPN rely on our Guardtronic installed cameras to keep an eye on what's going on around our building, as many of you do. Guardtronic has been serving the River Valley for over 60 years. Call Guardtronic for a free estimate so you'll be able to show the police who the bad boys are that took your belongings. License E50.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Man, I'm in a slump. My energy took a nosedive out of nowhere, and I just don't have the motivation to get things done.
You're over 40. Could be lower testosterone. Have you tried Nugenix Total T?
Nugenix, the testosterone booster on TV?
That's right. Look, I felt the same plunge in my energy after I turned 40, so I tried out Nugenix to see if it would help me.
Did Nugenix make a difference for you?
Night and day. My stamina's way up now. I'm building lean muscle at the gym. I'm totally back on my game. And you could be too. Just send a text to Nugenix. They'll send you a complimentary bottle so you can try it for yourself.
Text ROCK to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text ROCK to 321-321. That's ROCK to 321-321. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
World-class trout fishing is the star of the show at Gaston's White River Resort, where a few days away from all the worries and stress will make all right in your world. Gaston's has friendly, experienced guides to help you land your limit. Enjoy your stay at Gaston's in one of their private cottages or reserve a lodge for up to 20 people. Call now and let Gaston's help you plan your next getaway on the White River. 870-431-5202. That's 870-431-5202. Or learn more at Gastons.com. Gaston's, a first-class time, every time.
Robinhood Gold members can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on annual retirement contributions. With Robinhood Gold, the perks of the high net worth are now available for any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive a 3% boost on annual IRA contributions, sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold $5 a month for 1 year from first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to Robinhood.com/boost. Robinhood Financial LLC member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC.
Planning your Valentine's Day date? Joe's Grill and Cantina has a delicious and fun Valentine's Day date ready for you. Get started with an appetizer including queso and guacamole. Then have chicken tortilla soup plus your choice of 2 entrees, fajitas, voodoo enchiladas, chili lime salmon, and their famous Mexicali. Plus in the dinner with a heart-shaped skillet brownie. All of this for just $45 a couple. Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street across from Hart. Your place for Valentine's Day.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas football. It's the players running through the A. Hog hats. It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey.
Yes, sir. Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush.
Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
Richmond on the offensive end. Pick and roll, big C, and a two-hand flush. The assist from Richmond. Couldn't draw it up any better.
You know, one of the underrated elements that I've started to see showcase in this basketball team is Billy Richmond's development in the backup point guard. I've given a lot of credit to DJ Wagner lately, who had 7 assists last night. Looked really good. So only 3 turnovers with those 7 assists. You really like to see him continuing to improve. But again, Billy Wagner stepping up as a true freshman, a role that he probably didn't necessarily know he was going to have. And here's his teammate who was the recipient of one of those assists, Big Z, talking about him.
Billy just gives energy every night, but we kind of used to it. We see him every day on practices, dunking, jumping, and everything that he's been doing. When we see that on the court, we're not actually surprised because we already seen it, but been helping us a lot, especially on, on point guard.
Him and Carter and Adu on fast breaks are really, really fun to watch. When they get an open lane or a place to slash, you know that thing is going down. It's going down hard. Arkansas, again, wins last night 70-58, avenging the loss earlier in Baton Rouge earlier this season. And LSU, Tommy, still yet to win a game since that point.
Well, yeah, and they're only one. I guess they're what now, 1-10? They're one in conference play is to Arkansas. And I just hope that one doesn't come back to haunt you. You've got one more game that kind of fits this category against South Carolina, who just played so hard last night, came up short against Ole Miss. They've got to feel snake bit. And I'm going to tell you, the more they play these really good teams to the wire, the more I get nervous about that trip that's several games down the road to Columbia.
Mm-hmm. No, it's not going to be an easy game whatsoever.
Not at all.
And I would guess Arkansas is going to scratch and claw to have to win, despite the Gamecocks not winning a game.
You don't want to be the one that gives them their first dub.
Yeah.
So.
We mentioned the setup here. These next few games, Arkansas will travel to College Station this Saturday. Then you'll go to Auburn and take on the Tigers in the Jungle, where Florida beat them earlier this season. But we know Florida's a little better than Arkansas. And then you'll come back home. Now, the significance of this home game next Saturday is not only as a ranked opponent in the Missouri Tigers, which is a pretty good ball club, they are honoring the 1990 Final Four squad. Todd Day, Lee Mayberry, Daryl Hawkins, Oliver Miller. Those guys are getting honored next weekend. So I know that's a pretty big deal anytime you have a chance to remember one of the best basketball teams in Arkansas history. So the fellas are coming back for that game. Hopefully not just the emotions from that, but being that it will be the biggest home game down the stretch for Arkansas, gets them a win a week from Saturday.
I was too young to remember the Final Fours with Final Four with Eddie Sutton. Because really my basketball memory begins in the early 80s. But I remember how excited I was about that team going to Denver. They had to play Duke, and Duke was still Duke then. And so one of my favorite teams, and really, Nolan's talked about this. That 1990 team and 91 team might have been better than his 94 team as far as you'd have loved to seen those two squads scrimmage each other.
I think
I'm not so sure that Todd Day and Lee Mayberry's bunch wouldn't have beat him double digits.
I want to say, if I remember the timeline correctly, and Hogstats or Clay or Dudley or someone could correct me on this, but I want to say that 92 team, I think they lost to Anthony Hardaway in Memphis State. I feel like that was the most disappointing of the bunch, because that was the one, I think it was Sweet 16, if I remember that right. I feel like that was kind of like in your line of thinking, that was the one that, hey, this was going to be the year that they were going to win it. Now, of course, they won it 2 years later, so we're crying over spoiled milk, but it is fun to, like we talked about, hey, what's the better football team? Is it 2006 versus 2010, or do you go back to one of Quinn's team, conference champion? It is fun to kind of mix and match those teams, and you had one or two players that were on both squads, but yeah, that is happening again a week from Saturday, coming up against the Missouri Tigers. Last thing here in your Hog Update, Christian Fouch has been named the National Collegiate Baseball Writers Association preseason stopper of the year, i.e. closer. This is a new position that he's taken on. I guess Gak was your closer last year. He's going to be your Friday night guy this season. So we'll see if Christian Fouch is in that line, in that category for best closer of the year by season's end. All right, that is your Hog Update this morning, brought to you by our friends at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8
It is World Radio Day today, so
all right.
Make sure that you are listening to not just the Morning Rush, but the rest of the shows all day. Halftime, Ruskin and Zach, and we have all the Arkansas events per usual, but what a great day here it is on World Radio Day.
We get anything special? Anything catered in?
I was hoping
nothing.
To be able to show our ID. You know how bus drivers get...
do we get discounts anywhere?
Yeah, do we get that? That was my next question. It's Italian food day, so maybe you go to your favorite Italian food spot and you can swindle some free Italian food or free breadsticks of some sort. Your favorite fettuccine Alfredo, your manicotti, your ravioli, whatever the case may be. That sounds delightful right now. Listen to what I had, Tommy. I used to go to Fazoli's when I was a kid a lot. I had Fazoli's at 8 a.m. at the Phoenix airport.
Nothing wrong with that.
Delightful. Oh, it was so
Nothing wrong
good.
with
6
that.
breadsticks, too, to go with that.
6?
Yeah.
Carbon up.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, I know you're making plans for Party of One, Joe's Grill and
Yep.
Cantina.
Wade cleared the blow-up doll.
They've got a candle there on the table, so you can have a candle-lit dinner for you. And you can join Ty. You can look and, laugh and snicker and point and enjoy your dinner tomorrow night for $45 for a couple. That's going to be going on for Valentine's. You get chips and salsa, of course, queso or guacamole, chicken verde tortilla soup. You got 4 entrees to choose from that includes salmon, also include fajitas, enchiladas, and you also get a heart-shaped brownie to end off the meal. $45 a couple. It's going on all day long. Joe's Grilling Cantina, perfect for Valentine's Day on South 74th Street, across from Harps and Fort Smith.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
Got my keg in the freezer. We're ready to get this thing rolling and go home, baby.
You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Now, for a limited time, employee pricing is back at the #1 fifth wheel dealer in Arkansas, Wheels RV. That's right, employee pricing is back, and you pay what our employees pay on a huge selection of select new and used RVs, plus some 2025 models included. You'll find all your favorite brands, such as Grand Design, Brinkley, Forest River, Vibe, Novo, and Flagstaff. Plus, you get a lifetime warranty on every new RV sold. Employee pricing exclusively at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV, located 5 miles west of I-49 in Tawnytown. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
What's better than getting something for free? Winning. And with the $5 bundle from the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery, you get the chance to do both. For $5, you get 3 tickets, a Powerball ticket with Power Play, a Mega Millions ticket, and a free Natural State Jackpot ticket. That's 3 ways to win. So ask for the $5 bundle today. Bundle is eligible with Quick Picks only. Offer ends February 28th. Call 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
Listen up, crappie anglers. When it comes to crappie fishing, there's only one Baby Shad. The original Baby Shad, crappie fishing's #1 selling bait. Featuring a sleek back, streamlined belly, and quivering tail, that bait just won't stop moving, no matter the temps, no matter the conditions. Built for dead sticking and action-based techniques also, the original Baby Shad gets right to the point, catching slabs and filling freezers. Bobby Garland Crappie Baits, the leader in crappie fishing innovation.
Gentlemen, I do pipeline inspections, so I'm actually calling from California. Great show, by the way.
This is The Morning Rush.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here from Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you rolling. If you're looking for the best used
Thanks
car
for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your #1 source for online betting in 2025. Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, BetOnline is your ultimate game day companion. With the largest selection of odds on everything from NBA and college basketball to the NHL and UFC, BetOnline continues to be your #1 sports betting source. From every three-pointer to hat trick, BetOnline has you covered with odds, stats, and more for every game, every play, and every win. BetOnline. The game starts here.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Fan. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
Eat Lux your way with the new $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes from Taco Bell. The $5 classic box is iconic all over. The $7 Supreme Box has your decadent favorites and then some. The $9 Discovery Box introduces you to your newest obsession, like cheesy dipping burritos. Introducing the new $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings Boxes, only at Taco Bell.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
The Dandy White Perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakhalin.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting in 2025. Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first...
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Check out Nate and Kristen's Place in Lowell online at carpatsocial.com.
All right, Morning Rush Daily question. Is Big Z rounding his way into being your MVP this year? The way he has played lately, he is certainly in the conversation. I think you might have looked in some different directions, and I think 10 days ago you just said Adu Thiero, and I don't think he is out of the mix on this kind of conversation. But right now, best player, MVP, however you want to look at it, is Big Z going to take that spot for the year?
I don't think so. Dude's been too consistent. We're all about a what have you done for me lately society, and I know he's had 50 plus in these last two games, and he's been awesome, and it's flashy too because of the threes. He's 7-2, and you're like, oh my gosh. But if you're going to pick a definitive MVP for this team, it's Adu Thiero, unless he just trails off down the stretch. He's not going to keep this up. I got news for everyone listening right now. There's no way that he keeps this up. I know he did it against a really good front court against Alabama
on Saturday. That's what that means. Yeah.
He's not. He's not going to do it against Texas A&M. He's not going to do it against the best front court in the SEC, which is Auburn, and Janai Broome and Dylan Cardwell and the rest of those guys. It's just not going to happen. Like I hope.
Why
I'm
do you
wrong.
hate Big Z?
I don't hate Big Z. I'm just telling you what's not going to happen. He's not going to go off for 27 points against A&M or Auburn. I hope I'm dead wrong. But again, these are a couple. Adu's been the most consistent player on this team.
All year. Adu had 6 last night.
Yes, did not play
with
well.
7 boards.
But look, he was at one point in time the leading field. I don't know if he is now based on last night, but he was the leading field goal percentage leader in the SEC. On top of that, against quad one opponents, he's top 5 in all of college basketball in his per 40 minutes. Not only does he do it against against SEC play, but he does it against the elitist of competition. That's your best player. That's your most consistent player. We got flashy, and again, I'm not hating on Big Z. He was great these last 2 games. But we got to look at the whole pie. And the whole pie, the majority of it belongs to Adu.
But the question is he playing his way into that conversation? And I think he is right now. The reality is you got to have both to win.
Yeah.
And you won without a great game, at least from a scoring standpoint. He had 7 rebounds that shouldn't be overlooked for Adu Thiero. But, Big Z right now is the go-to guy, inside and out. And his ability to hit the distance shot is incredible.
Listen, I know it's hilarious sometimes the things I criticize coaches on but McMahon, I don't know what he was doing. I mean, I don't know if it's his player's fault. I don't know if there's a switching. Like, you know how many open looks he got last night?
Well,
I'm sitting there thinking, no one else on Arkansas can shoot. The only guy that can shoot on this basketball team is wide open. And I know pick and pop, and I know hard hedging. I know there's a lot of intricacies that go into a defense and whatnot. But this guy, Big C, was just getting wide open threes. And I'm thinking to myself, what is LSU doing? Keep doing what you're doing. Keep it up. Yeah. But that's, again, A&M's better defensively. Auburn's better defensively. I think that if we're still having this conversation, Arkansas is going to be an NCAA tournament team because that means this kid, it's not a blip on the radar. This is real. But I unfortunately tend to think, I don't think he's going to necessarily revert back to like 10, 11 minutes a game, but I don't think you should expect 25 points a night. You might get the blocks still. He's been blocking shots all season long. Arkansas is number one team in the SEC in blocks. They're top 5 in college basketball, but the points standpoint, I don't know if I would expect that. Maybe I'm just being a Debbie Downer this morning. Maybe he's going to go off against the Aggies and the Tigers here these next 2 days.
All right, Adu Thiero, is he playing his way into a MVP-type conversation for this team? That's your Morning Rush Daily Question, and it's brought to you by Cart Path Social. On a day like today and a weekend like we got coming up, Cart Path Social is where you can get your golf fix.
Yeah, we were talking about the weather at Baum-Walker Stadium. Well, and if you don't feel like going to Baum-Walker, but you still want to either watch the games, you want to take in some, I'm so used to saying college football or NFL football, but college basketball this weekend, or you just want to hang out with friends, family, you can do so at Cart Path Social, number one indoor golf destination in all of Arkansas. And it's not one of those very like tight-knit groups. There are people from all over. It doesn't have to be like an avid golfer. You can just go have fun with friends. It's a great time. Christian Nate would love to see you, love to have you. Make sure you tell them you heard it on ESPN Arkansas in the Morning Rush, so they make sure that this is working, which they've told me it is. But cartpathsocial.com, number one indoor golf destination in Arkansas, and it's BYOB at Cart Path Social.
Yeah, it'd be a good weekend to get in there and pick one of them famous courses out that you can't afford to play, like Pebble Beach or something.
Some of these green fees, Tommy, and listen, I've been sucked into golf these last 2 years, like no time before in my life. I don't know if I'm willing to go over like slightly above 300. It's like my pain threshold. I don't feel good about swiping the plastic on that.
I mean, these famous courses like Pebble's going to like close to $1,000. There's a course in Vegas, Shadow Creek. I've not played. It's $1,250.
Yeah, it's most expensive.
$1,500, something like that. So, yeah, you need a buddy to get you on that's got a connection, got a hookup somehow. Because some of these places are getting outrageous to play.
They are expensive. That's why you go to Cart Path Social, which it's a lot cheaper to hang out there,
play Pebble and save $1,000
and play a full 18 and the setup and everything else on that. All right, it is 9:46 here on the Morning Rush on a Too Stupid Thursday. If you want to jump in with us, we got a couple texts I want to get to here in just a sec. Following Arkansas 70-58 victory over the LSU Tigers last night. I was looking at KenPom this morning, just kind of pondering. It's basically a college basketball guru website. It does have Arkansas losing the next 3 games. I feel a lot more confident that they're going to somehow, with the emotional aspect, end up helping to beat Missouri. But these next 2 are murder's row when you go to College Station and you go to what I think is the toughest place to play in the SEC. And I love Bud Walton Arena, and I think it's hostile at times, but I truly believe that Auburn has now taken over the toughest place to play in college basketball in the SEC. And you got to go there on Wednesday. But like we talked about earlier, the emotional aspect they have is they're either going to come off an emotional win or an emotional loss to their arch rival Alabama this Saturday.
Well, I mean, they have great fans and they make a lot of noise, but it's their players is why it's a tough place to play. I mean, they get really good teams. And that's why you go in there and it's difficult. But Bud Walton at its best is hard to beat too, and it make a lot of noise with 19,000 plus in there. But I'm just hoping maybe you catch Auburn at the right time. Let's worry about A&M because that's going to be a difficult game. Arkansas hadn't played a lot of 11 a.m. Saturday games. I mean, they've been in prime time. Played a lot of here recently games at 7:30. On Saturdays. Last night at 8 o'clock was the last start in the league. It's tough. It's tough for us to watch. I think it's good for the kids because I think they played well later in the day. I worry a little bit about going on the road and
at 11
a.m. and how well is this team going to play? Because they have played better when they played later in the day. That's what we've seen.
You only play outside of nighttime and evening time 2 more times after this game next weekend. You play at noon against South Carolina, and then you play at 11 a.m. against Mississippi State. 2 really inconsequential games. So it'd be nice to see how they do it this early start on Saturday.
They're all big at this point, but I maybe I'm overanalyzing that, but they've played better, and maybe it's the teams, maybe it's just the team getting better. I'll be a little more comfortable if they get out of the gate and play well at what is that, Reed Arena? There at A&M.
That sounds right. I don't know. My brother's dating an Aggie right now. I don't know if they're going to make the trip down to College Station from Dallas this weekend. I know they did it for baseball. I don't know if they're going to do that, but that would be a place you'd love to somehow squeak out a win inside of College Station. We were pondering earlier, like between the 94, 95, 91, 92 teams. We got a text from JT in Hot Springs. He asked Coach Wayne Stellick which team was better, 90 to 92 or the 94, 95. He would not answer. He said to go back to 90, 91, 92 teams. 91 team lost to Kansas in the Elite Eight. Yep. 92, they were the 3 seed, and they lost. It was the second round, apparently, to Memphis. Was that Manny and the Miracles they lost to in 91?
No, that was Larry Brown's team. That would have been 80, was it 89, 88, 89, right in there. So, I think Roy Williams was the coach of that team when we lost to him in the Elite Eight.
I forgot Roy. Yeah, I forgot Roy Williams was there at Kansas at one point. Text from Brett and Van Buren. Ty decides to go on vacations instead of going to basketball games. Doesn't go to Kentucky because he thinks we're going to get whooped. So I don't think his opinion on Big Z matters a whole lot. Since Big Z's been playing the way he's been playing, we've been winning games. MVP, baby. All
right.
So I guess I'll go in now on the record and say this. There's no way Arkansas can win on Saturday in College Station. That way it actually comes to fruition and it actually pans out this upcoming weekend, which would be with nothing better. I did want to bring this up. I feel like this is more of a football conversation, but it's definitely had an impact in basketball. I know John Shire, Duke's head coach, was ticked the other day when Clemson rushed the court, I guess 0.3 of a second early. Greg Byrne, who's the Alabama athletics director, according to ESPN, is saying that if a home team, if they storm a field or court, they should lose the game right then and there, and they were stopping. What he's suggesting is forfeits for court storm.
Not going to happen. That's easy for him to say as the Alabama AD.
But
that's preposterous.
Yeah, and Alabama, and I say that it's more applicable to football. Their basketball team's better than their football team. I bet you this. First off, Kalen DeBoer's going to get fired here in the next 2 or 3 years, which is going to happen. We saw it this year, 9-3. I know he hired Brian Grubb in the offseason. He's going to get gone. There will be more court stormings against their basketball team than there will be their football team in this next stretch of games. So maybe he is concerned from a basketball standpoint.
The idea that we're going to forfeit games because of field storming.
It's not American.
It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's not reality. I mean, why are you wasting breath on that? Let's bring an idea to the table that would actually work. So, I mean, and listen, who's storming the court? I've been in the arena a few times. I've been in the stadium against Tennessee and against Texas when it's the students. It's not. I mean, I'm not saying there's no common fan.
Tommy wants to dock them, upgrade their student
I'm just
fees.
saying, you want to get a hold of this and really shut it down, you're going to have to come at it from that angle. Because who's leading the charge to get on the field? All you have to do is watch who's clogging the aisles and what section's empty.
Yeah.
It's the student section. So, yeah, 100%. That's where you got to go. If you want to call it a problem, where was it? Vanderbilt the other day, we're going to have a delayed court storming. Maybe you can find a way to get everybody off and then let them do it.
Then go.
I don't know. So, hey, if you're looking for a place to stay this Valentine's weekend, the Inn at the Mill has a comfortable, oversized suite waiting on you, and they can treat you and your group to a great weekend. If you want a romantic getaway, ask about one of their suites. They've got several. They got their oversized rooms already, but then they got some special suites as well that are perfect for a weekend like this. It's all at the Inn at the Mill, 479-443-1800, 443-1800, or online at innatthemill.com. If you have not downloaded the Hit That Line Now app, do it now. Powered by Taco Bell. You're craving something crunchy, saucy, cheesy, or delicious, you'll find it at Taco Bell, and you'll find the Hit That Line Now app in the Apple app or Google Play Store.
Hour 2 coming up. What's Tom Murphy think about last night's win and how consequential it is moving forward? We'll ask him next.
Now, for a limited time, employee pricing is back at the #1 fifth wheel dealer in Arkansas, Wheels RV. That's right, employee pricing is back, and you pay what our employees pay on a huge selection of select new and used RVs, plus some 2025 models included. You'll find all your favorite brands, such as Grand Design, Brinkley, Forest River, Vibe, Nobo, and Flagstaff. Plus, you get a lifetime warranty on every new RV sold. Employee pricing exclusively at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV, located 5 miles west of I-49 in Tawnytown. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Hog fans, this is Matt.
This is Robert.
And this is Elizabeth, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
The largest Razorback store south of the North Pole.
Folks, it's that time of year again.
Mom, what's he talking about?
Matt, I have no idea.
It's hoop time. It's going to be baseball season.
And the Stadium Shop has everything you need.
Whether it's decorating your fan cave or getting something to wear for the game, we have what you need.
We even have Nike basketball jerseys, sideline apparel, even brands like Cutter and Buck and Champion.
Or how about something from Tommy Bahama or Coliseum for those Hawaiian shirt Sundays?
Guys, Nike baseball team hats and jerseys will get here about the 1st of February. Hey, Matt, do you know what's blue but doesn't weigh very much?
No, what?
Light blue.
Mom, please help.
Matt, there's no cure for a dad joke.
Folks, come by the Stadium Shop located at 989 South Razorback Road next to Baum-Walker Stadium, or shop us on them Insta WW book.
Dad, it's
Facebook.
the website, which is shoponrazorback.com. That's shoponrazorback.com.
Or call us at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs.
This is The Morning Rush.
Valley Family Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, same-day crowns, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms. Let them know you heard this on ESPN Radio and receive $300 off a snore guard. Valley Family Dental, 479-226-3500 for an appointment, or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here from Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you rolling. If you're looking for the best used car your money can buy, check out our great selection of road-ready certified vehicles with warranty. If you're trading or selling your car, let us give you a free second opinion and leave with a check in your hand. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in the Meineke Car Care Center. Plus, follow us on Facebook for special offers and fun contests. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, Fort Smith.
Jen has ordered a decadent seafood tower, king crab legs, lobster tails, and a waterfall of caviar. Pricey? You bet. But Jen worked with Empower on her savings and investment strategy and planned for splurges like these. She got good at money, so she can be a little bad. Ooh, champagne. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
Past performance is non-indicative of future returns. Investing involves risk. You may lose money. Advisory services are provided for a fee by Empower Advisory Group, LLC, EAG, a registered investment advisor with the Securities and Exchange Commission. OMG, those shrimps are really jumbo.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Man, I'm in a slump. My energy took a nosedive out of nowhere, and I just don't have the motivation to get things done.
You're over 40. Could be lower testosterone. Have you tried Nugenix Total T?
Nugenix, the testosterone booster on TV?
That's right. Look, I felt the same plunge in my energy after I turned 40. So I tried out Nugenix to see if it would help me.
Did Nugenix make a difference for you?
Night and day. My stamina's way up now. I'm building lean muscle at the gym. I'm totally back on my game. And you could be too. Just send a text to Nugenix. They'll send you a complimentary bottle so you can try it for yourself.
Text ROCK to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text ROCK to 321-321. That's ROCK to 321-321. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. The best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world. Rachel's at Papa's right now. Rachel, what do you think?
Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. The best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
You can check out their menu at papaspub.com. Cricket, how about you?
Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. The best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
Come on by and see us at Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, partly to mostly sunny skies, mid-30s north, right around the low 40s south. It will be clear and cold tonight, overnight lows in the low to mid-20s. Limited sunshine, a high in the mid to upper 40s on Friday. Showers and thunderstorms possible on Saturday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today. You're listening to The Morning Rush on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris Fort Smith.
I would just say I'm not set for the priesthood or taking one of those vows. I just don't know how they do it.
This hour of The Morning Rush is brought to you by Bud Light, brewed with the best barley, rice, water, and hops to be America's favorite light beer. Bud Light, please drink responsibly.
The Razorbacks will dribble this one out, and Arkansas is going to earn the split with LSU. The Tigers winners at Baton Rouge, but it's Arkansas tonight. LSU led by 1 at the break. Hogs outscored them by 13 in the second half. 70-58 the final.
This is The Morning Rush.
And welcome in hour number 2 of The Morning Rush. Tom Murphy set to join us coming up in just a sec. We mentioned in the last hour, Greg Byrne, Alabama's athletic director, with the idea of, hey, the team that court storms or field storms should have to forfeit. Well, theater guy at Harrison listening this morning, he's saying, Tommy is saying if there's a field storming or court storming or any student that had a ticket should have to pay part of the fine. I get what Tommy, man, we've talked about this several times. He's right. I mean, when you look at what's happening just here in Fayetteville, whether it's Bud Walton, doesn't happen at Baum Walker, Donald W. I mean, the people that hit the field first are the students. We're the ringleaders of sorts. And now it kind of leads up after that.
They clog up the aisles so no one else can lead till they get out of the. It's a safety issue to a degree, and I don't want to get it on my old man.
Right? No, I kind of want you to wag your finger.
But I mean, if they want to deal with this, and Greg Burns talking about coming down heavy-handed, forfeits. I mean, you got coaches making $5+ million, $5 to $12 million a year to coach your football team, and because the students ran out on the field, we're going to take a win away. We're going to affect the national championship. That's ludicrous.
It doesn't. I don't think it's going to make it further and farther in this discussion. I should say.
I think that's going to. As they say in politics, that's going to die in committee. So if you haven't downloaded the Oaklawn Sports app, be sure and get that on your phone. There's a lot of great stuff. We've been talking like March Madness and college basketball, and is Arkansas going to get on the right side of the bubble? They'll have all the action for you during March Madness there. Plus, you can earn up to $1,000 in bonus bets with the Oaklawn Sports app. Once you've made your deposit, you're automatically enrolled in the promotion, so you'll receive a second chance on your first bet each of the first 10 days, up to $100 with the Oaklawn Sports app. Plus, you can check out the 10% profit boost that's available now on parlays with Oaklawn Sports as well. Bet with a brand you trust anywhere in Arkansas. Bet with Oaklawn Sports.
So, Big Z likes you guys, right?
Love the crowd. Love the sport. Thank you all.
Loves him some basketball, and he's been on a roll these last 2 games. Well, he credited a couple things. Listen to this.
Working hard, staying consistent, staying healthy, eating good, sleeping good.
Eating good, sleeping good. I think a lot of us in life could, if we did that a little more, we might be better off in our, not just our daily lives, but our working lives as well. I guess the Jerry and Gene Jones Center is paying off, Tommy. Evidently, Arkansas spends the most on food of anyone in collegiate sports. If I remember that, the ranking setup and everything else, and Big Z's eating good. I wish I was watching the game last night. My roommate said this. He's right. we got to take him to like Sassy's and Allen and just give him like 50 pounds of brisket. Like he like he's still got to put on weight. I know he knows that. Like at the next level, he can't play at the playing weight he is, and that makes him more versatile and probably from an in shape standpoint. But you would like him to beef up a little bit and continue on. But he's been great these last 2 games. Hopefully, it will stretch in to this road terrain that you're about to hit between the Aggies and the Auburn Tigers this Saturday and next Wednesday.
Hey, you're talking about good food and places to eat. Uncorked is going to have it going on this weekend, Valentine's Day, and then they got a Galentine's brunch on Saturday the 15th as well. You can make reservations for either event online at uncorkthefort.com. I bet they're
I've already got some. Well, I was going to say, all my friends have already told their gals, hey, y'all have fun on Saturday. Here's the credit card. Swipe it up. Scott, you're going to have a full house of a bunch of great friends, great lady friends of mine. So that is going to be an essential one that you do not want to miss.
So they've got some really cool, unique apps. Of course, they're fried deviled eggs that are going to be there for the Galentine's brunch, a charcuterie board. But then they're going to have sweet potato toast and avocado toast to start the day. They'll have main dishes and handhelds that good to start the day with a brunch. So then they got some of their Eggs Benedict that you can choose from as well. They got 4 different ones that are going to be on the menu, including their Down South Benny. It's fried chicken, a fried egg, hollandaise sauce on a jalapeno cornbread muffin served with a toast, served with a tossed salad. So that's one of 4 great Eggs Benedict, if you will, that Chef Jazz has done for this weekend at the Galentine's Day brunch on Saturday. So get details on all of that. I'm looking at their Facebook page right now. Chef Jazz has put all the menu up for that. You can check that out. And you want to do something sweet for your sweetheart? Hey guys, get a reservation and take care of it for your special lady and her friends at the Galentine's Day brunch, in addition to a great meal on Friday night at Uncorked. They're on Phoenix Avenue next to Sody's in Fort Smith. And make reservations online at uncorkthefort.com.
This hour of the Morning Rush is presented by Mach 1 Financial. Mach 1 Financial Group, LLC is a registered investment advisor located in Rogers, Arkansas. For full disclosures, visit mach-1financial.com/disclosures.
All right, we welcome in our friend Tom Murphy of Mohawk Sport. Okay, we'll wait on Tom for just a sec, just as he gets ready. Bring him on in just a bit. I want to go back to the question that Tommy asked in hour number 1. Is Big Z playing himself into a role where you feel like he could be the MVP of his team? And maybe I was too harsh initially on the thought of, I feel like it's a new Thero and everything else. But Arkansas, the element that I brought up earlier is, and I know John Ellis had a game or two where he's hit some shots, and Carter Knox has hit some threes here and there, but he's your best shooter, and he's 7'2". Like, that doesn't happen often in college basketball or the NBA where your best player is a stretch 5, which is what Big Z is playing right now. More of a stretch 4, but is kind of in that 5 role based on where Arkansas needs him to be. I wonder now, as coaches like Buzz Williams or Bruce Pearl and everyone else, as they try to game plan for him in these coming games, how he handles that and how the coaching staff continues to get him open. I watched several plays last night and really in these last couple games that they've been running that they weren't running previously, which I like personally.
Yeah, and there just seems to be more flow to the offense with Boogie out of the lineup. They've developed some rhythm to it, and there was a couple of pick and roll plays that they did a great job last night of getting Z open look to the basket, and teams are going to figure out a way to defend that. But hopefully Arkansas continues to roll and make them make a choice, and you got an open look one way or the other.
I did get kicked. So last night, Big Z took just a horrid 3, and Z was busting him up after the game.
This shot over here in this corner, you were feeling pretty good. What about that shot right there?
We're not going to talk about it.
So every once in a while, when you start knocking down some shots, you think you're invincible. You think that every single one of them's going in, and he had one of those.
Most of them did. 3 of 5 from behind the 3-point line, and 10 of 13 from the floor. He had one that didn't look right, looked like me or you shooting. I'll live with that. 10 of 13 number.
He was. I was
3 3-point baskets.
The second leader on your basketball team last night was John L. Davis, and he only had 11. So Arkansas managed to skate by really with good defense last night. I mean, when they shot the ball well, they shot at 60% in the second half. But it was a setup last night where I'm thinking to myself, man, Arkansas is just kind of muddling around, kind of going and everything else. And luckily, Big Z just kept knocking down shots over and over again. Texas A&M, again, is a squad, and Auburn, for example, that are going to be teams that hopefully have some better defense in the setup and everything else. So, Tom, good? We good? Okay. All right, let's talk with our buddy Tom Murphy here. What?
Why we're giving you a thumbs up?
Well, it's 9 minutes in. I just want to make sure if we bring him in. Tom, what's up, man?
Guys, real life was happening. I have been trying to schedule a service, and I'm not going to tell you what kind, but when you think you can do something in 7 or 8 minutes or 10 minutes, and it takes longer sometimes, it's really frustrating.
Yeah, I get it. People will continue to let you down, Tom. That's the way it goes. Hey,
name him, Tom.
Yeah.
Name who it.
Yeah.
I'm
not going to do it.
I'm kidding.
Well, the Hogs didn't let anyone down last night. A little dicey in the first half, but pretty dominant second half performance behind Big Z. We've been talking about him and his 25. Good performance last night to get a home win.
As we discussed on Tuesday, they could not lose this game. It would have just been too tragic for their chances. So good that they got it. I don't like the way a lot of things in the first half. They had a chance to stretch a lead, and they just, to me, there were some lackadaisical offensive possessions that led to turnovers. Just in the missed free throws, very frustrating. But anyway, they took care of business, and you're right about Big Z. But for this team to be all it can be, they've just got to get more from Brazile and Adu. And I know that Adu's not really like a big option in the offense, but maybe he's got some post moves. He's got a nice jumper, and you're going to maximize yourself. He's got to be a part of that. And scoring around the rim last night, in the first half particularly. John L. Davis was not a good finisher last night. Just too many shots right there. But hey, when it counted, they got it done. Thero had some good stuff late after being scoreless early on. But hey, man, this game against A&M coming up Saturday, big game. If they can win either the A&M or Auburn game and take care of their home games, I think they're in the tournament.
Yeah, and they could just split these next two, but we'll get to that in just a second. I thought LSU last night didn't play a very clean game. That's one of the reasons they've only won one SEC game. I don't know how many times, particularly in the first half, they either dribbled it out of bounds, unforced errors where they knocked it out of bounds and continued or extended Arkansas's half-court possession, even when they weren't guarded. Unguarded, unforced errors last night really set LSU back. They took a 1-point halftime lead in, but if they capitalized on 2 or 3 of those half-court possessions that they should have had instead of giving it to Arkansas, Tom, it would have maybe been a little different halftime feel and conversation for both teams.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And they're a team that it's happened to them so many times. I mean, Ole Miss had the big comeback on them the other day. They've been in a lot of games, but they've also taken some on the chin. And they have some nice individual pieces. But, yeah, sloppy with the ball. I mean, there was a couple. They had a defensive rebound. They're going up court, and Arkansas just snags it or tips it away from behind and gets an easy basket out of it. So, but I'll tell you this. That freshman, Robert Miller, 16 points, he got Z on a block several times, and you think, oh, this shot's going to get blocked. And he would pump fake or give him a head, and Z would go up, and then he'd wait. And he got the ball over him multiple times. So he's something for them to build on. But you're right. Just too sloppy with the ball. Just a team that kind of, you look at them, they feel like, when is something bad going to happen? And they didn't have really much of a response after Arkansas opened it up past about 6, and then built on that. There wasn't much of a response.
I know Jonas Adu's not giving you much offensively, but Chin Coleman did make sure to mention last night that he felt like he did a better job on Miller and at least tried to stymie him a little better. As good as Big Z played offensively, Jonas at least gave him a little more of a deterrence when it came to that defense. We're talking with Tom Murphy, Whole Hog Sports, Arkansas Democrat-Gazette this morning. Tom, there's been a change in the baseball schedule with Arkansas no longer playing on Sunday. Friday tomorrow at noon, Saturday at 2. It's a doubleheader on Friday, so there'll be one after that game. And you also play Monday at noon. What are you looking forward to? Not just tomorrow, but the rest of the weekend.
Man, just knowing that it's a quality team, we're going to be out there watching, and there's so many of these newcomers, and they had good falls and good springs, like Brent Iredale. Is he going to produce at game time? Are the pitchers going to be as dominant as we've seen them some in the fall and spring? So, Vahila Aloy has changed his stance a little bit. Does that lead to a higher batting average than 270 and, increased power numbers? How is Kendall Diggs' shoulder going to hold up? Looks like he'll probably start in right field, but the left and center fielders likely to be Justin Thomas and Charles Davalon. Just what do they bring to the table? They have Davalon probably in leadoff spot. And, I don't know. They're always fun, and being at the ballpark, it's kind of different feel than like covering a football game. There's all this high pressure and intensity, and then in baseball you get a lot more day games. And, I don't know. I really enjoy baseball.
The deadlines aren't as strenuous, Tom, right? Too.
Dude, these 8:00 tip-offs. When you write for a daily paper, and thankfully the Hog Sports folks are really helping us out during our. Y'all all know what's going on. 8:00 tip-offs are just brutal, and they got a 9:00 at Vanderbilt coming up too.
That game's at 9?
I think so.
Good gosh, I didn't. Yep, you're right. I'm looking at it right now. Goodness gracious, 9:00 on a Tuesday. Jeez Louise. Yeah, that is. I know that's been a beef of many of our listeners starting games so late, 8:00 and whatnot in the setups. You mentioned the nature. We had James Teague on yesterday, and I know everyone wants to make a declarative statement, not just in Arkansas football after the first game, basketball team after the first game, but opening weekend, people want to say this or this or this. And we were talking earlier, Tom, about Hagen Smith outing last year, which was dreadful. I mean, it was really cold. He had a bad outing, got pulled really quickly, and then went on to just go ape what against Oklahoma State that next weekend. So
he really did.
How do you like not back off, but how do you just like chill out the first weekend if you're an Arkansas baseball fan based on new guys, new team, and everything else that you'll get to take in at Bob Walker?
Well, just reference some Hagen Smith's game 2 last year down in Arlington. I mean, that was a monster game, the school strikeout record and all that. But if you'll recall, I think the first batter against James Madison worked a really long count, and I think worked a walk, and then a guy hit a single, and then their best hitter, their power guy, he got one up in the wind, and it was blowing out, and it just got over the fence. And on a lot of days, it's a pretty routine, or maybe a deep fly ball, not routine, but a deep fly ball. But that one got out, and he's down 3-0, 3 batters into the season, infinity ERA, and then we know what he did for most of the rest of the season.
Yeah, and You want to have a Friday night lockdown guy that you really can count on to maybe win 8 of their 10 starts in conference play, something like that. I think it's probably reasonable. But, also I think there's merit and value to the idea that you don't have one guy that you lean so much on and put so much pressure on to perform each time as well.
Yeah, I agree. And, Gabe Gackle could hold down the Friday job all year. But Dave Van Horn and Matt Hobbs have shown the propensity to, if a guy's struggling, if a guy needs a week off, they'll you remember with Hunter Holland and Hagen a couple years ago, they swapped it up midway through, and then I think swapped it back later, and made it work. I mean, they plugged Will McIntyre into the weekend rotation some, and what a valuable piece he is, by the way. There's so many things to like about what we're about to see up here. Yeah. With the pitching staff, with Christian Fouts throwing 100+ as a closer, and then you got the Carson Wiggins kid, the freshman, Jackson Wiggins' brother. He's throwing 98 with ease. So I mean, he could be a setup guy. They could try to get him worked into a starting role. That's so many options they'll have from a pitching standpoint.
Yeah, I think we just all got to stay grounded through these first 4 games, and then through the trip to Arlington, and not get them carried away about how good this team is or how disappointing they may be out of the gate, because none of that really has mattered in recent seasons. What happens in February certainly has little to no bearing on what's going to play out in late May and June.
We have so much proof of that over the years. And look, Dave Van Horn has been coaching here 22 years. There's been one blip of a season, 2016. they didn't make the postseason. Otherwise, gold. So making the postseason, obviously, but Razorback fans know they know how this team can push the buttons in the playoffs and get to Omaha. So yeah, you're right though. Don't get caught up in the what's happening now. They'll build towards something.
Tom, enjoy the weekend, enjoy the game on Saturday, and we'll talk to you on Tuesday.
Outstanding. See you then.
All right, Tom Murphy with us every Tuesday and Thursday here on the Morning Rush. This hour of the Morning Rush is brought to you by the Market Moment podcast with Mach 1 Financial. You know, there's a lot of ups and downs and a lot of talk about interest rates and the economy right now, and it's easy to let emotions take over when you start investing. That's why Mach 1 Financial Group brings you the Market Moment podcast. It's a weekly episode where their advisors break down the latest financial headlines. So you'll know what really matters. They'll answer those questions. And how do current events impact your portfolio? Get your insights, your thoughts, and your questions answered. Tune in every Tuesday for a fresh episode of the Market Moment. You can also find all their podcast episodes at market-moment.com. You can also find them on YouTube as well and tune into their YouTube channel. Mach 1 Financial Group, LLC. They're a registered investment advisor located in Rogers, Arkansas. For full disclosures, visit disclosures.mach1fg.com.
All right, are you ready for this headline? I feel like it's appropriate around Valentine's Day weekend. Are you ready?
Hit it.
Company-sanctioned bleep days could be coming. Paid time off to get freaky boosts productivity and workplace loyalty. Is this a corporate thing, or is this something we're going to be practicing here at ESPN Arkansas? It's not applicable to me, but for Colton, married man, you, married man. Who else is married?
I think that's why they call them personal days.
Not a lot of hosts outside of that are married on these shows, but so you just take a personal day.
I think that's why they call them personal days.
Okay. Well, I think there are additional. I think there are going to be additional days. I thought it was appropriate being Valentine's Day weekend and everything else. And I'm not surprised by any headline I see nowadays here in 2024. But evidently some CEOs and bigwigs are thinking about doing this.
Can you send that memo over to my house? Let her know what's coming.
Surely you're going to get lucky on Valentine's Day weekend, right? Every married man is going to get lucky.
She'll be in Tulsa and I'll be in Texas. So yeah,
someone said that's the luckiest weekend of their year thus far, and everything else. No, it's like we were telling
kids and travel sports. That's how it works. You know.
All right. So
why do they even schedule travel sport events?
I got a
Valentine's
question.
Weekend.
I probably should. My dad went through the travel sports with me with soccer back in the day, but it wasn't as strenuous. It wasn't as constant as it is now in 2025. And I know there's a lot of parents that we have listening now across the great state of Arkansas and all over the United States that your kid participates in some sort of travel ball. It could be ladies, it could be men. It doesn't matter. Boy or girl, they do it, right? The question is it worth it? Like I got to be honest. I got burnt. Like I was doing travel soccer basically all year round, and I also did eventually school. And I got burnt out for a little bit, and then I jumped back on when it wasn't all year. Like I wonder, are we burning kids out in travel sports because you're doing it all year long? And when you specialize, like that's even Arch Manning played basketball
because parents don't realize. All this travel sports stuff and all these gym memberships you buy and all that, it's just a money-making venture for everyone that's trying to make a buck off you.
And that's what I was going to say. Like, you at least have the knowledge to notice that. You have the wisdom to see that.
And I've got a check
and you're still
register as well.
swiping, and you're still swiping. How many do you think you've spent?
Oh, I don't want
in the last 2 years. 50 grand?
Oh,
it's not that much. Half?
At least.
At least. See, that's it. And again, I don't have kids, and I'm going to be in a situation where I don't necessarily want a daughter, but I know I'm going to have one at some point, and she's going to look at me and say, "Dad, I want to do this," and I'm just going to be like, "Oh my gosh, I can't say no to my nieces. I can say no to my nephews easy. I can't say no to my nieces. So if I have a daughter, I'm screwed." That being said, like she or hopefully a little boy is going to ask me to play travel basketball, and I'm not going to be able to say no. And then I'm going to look at my checkbook. Actually, I won't have a checkbook. I'll look at my credit card statement, and I'm going to blow my head off because of how much you're spending. And so, like, are you going to take a stand for all the parents out there and say, so-and-so,
No.
we can't, you're just going to keep beating down with
keep paying.
Well, go ahead, Gold.
She's only going to be this. I mean, she's only going to be 12, 13, 14, 15 once. I mean,
that's got to be part of it. And also, Tommy, I bet that you're spending a lot of that money on really good coaches, because that's the thing is that you talked about players getting burnt out. And never mind, then maybe not. But you talked about players getting burnt out. That's the thing.
Well, you hope.
How would I evaluate
I was going to say,
hopefully
if
you
I had a
are.
good time, I want to hear his evaluation on the.
Well, how would I go about
That's
doing
how
that?
kids get burnt out, Ty, is that they have really crappy coaches, and that those coaches are working them to death, and they don't know what they're doing, and that's how kids get burnt out playing travel basketball and baseball and things like that.
Well, thank God I didn't pursue a career in the National Basketball Association. I decided on radio instead, like Tommy did all those years ago, and we didn't get burnt out on trying to play basketball. And everything else.
That's exactly right. Hey, we got a lot more to get to as we move through the morning. Want to remind you about APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group. They are your top source, your number one source for top quality aggregates, asphalt, and ready-mix concrete. And whether you're working on a small project that's a residential size project, or you're a general contractor with a major project and you need someone to work with you when it comes to all your aggregate and ready-mix needs, they're there for you with APAC. Their construction consultant services will always keep your project on track as well. 479-587-3300. 587-3300 for APAC and Standard Materials Group. And happy birthday to the sales manager at APAC in Northwest Arkansas, one Ted B. Kraft.
He's what, 2 years younger than you? 3 years?
No, 13 months younger than me.
Okay.
And 13 days to be precise.
That's closer than me and my brother are at 16 months and
I
everything.
called him before I even came into work this morning, and he didn't answer. So I don't know if he's out of town or something. But
Let's see here.
birthday day. So I'll just say it on the radio.
This is what you do when you're the older brother and you have
Yeah.
a microphone that stretches across the state. Listen here, little brother. When I call you, you answer my call.
No, he's a busy man.
Well, I get
He's a
called.
busy man.
I get called the worst Richardson, and my brother gets called the better Richardson. Does that happen with you and Teddy? Does he get called the better Kraft, and you get called the worst Kraft?
He's a pretty good guy.
Is
He's
he
a pretty good guy.
Okay, he's Teddy. He's just doing this for you because it's your birthday. If it was not your birthday, he would say something different.
He's a pretty good guy.
SEC update when we come back.
Just say, Alexa, play ESPN Arkansas.
ESPN Arkansas from Tuning.
This is former Arkansas quarterback Casey Dick, and you're listening to the Morning Rush.
Now, for a limited time, employee pricing is back at the #1 fifth wheel dealer in Arkansas, Wheels RV. That's right, employee pricing is back, and you pay what our employees pay on a huge selection of select new and used RVs, plus some 2025 models included. You'll find all your favorite brands, such as Grand Design, Brinkley, Forest River, Vibe, Novo, and Flagstaff. Plus, you get a lifetime warranty on every new RV sold. Employee pricing exclusively at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV, located 5 miles west of I-49 in Tawnytown. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
You're smarter than me. Where's the disconnect?
What was that? My headphones cut out. What?
Delete the sour code.
This is the Morning Rush.
It's sad that we live in an unsafe world, but we do. Would you be able to show the police who was at your home if something was taken? Guardtronic installs alarm systems as well as camera systems. We here at ESPN rely on our Guardtronic installed cameras to keep an eye on what's going on around our building, as many of you do. Guardtronic has been serving the River Valley for over 60 years. Call Guardtronic for a free estimate so you'll be able to show the police who the bad boys are that took your belongings. License E50.
Wes, how many people can a large pizza feed?
About 4.
So I should tell Cousin Jeff 1.
Oh, wow. He's a big eater.
The biggest. He once got kicked out of an all-you-can-eat diner because they ran out of food. How many can a small pizza feed?
I'd say 2.
Our small pizza at $15 is a meal for 2? We should advertise this. That goat'll hunt.
Dog.
What you call me?
That dog will hunt.
Wes, dogs are man's best friend. Goats are the true hunters.
Goats?
Billy Goat Jr.'s Grammy was trained to chase squirrels, cats, birds, and rabbits. We could hear her for miles through the brush. And she'd circle them right to us.
You're not serious.
As serious as a meal for 2 for $15.
You're an interesting cat.
What you call me?
A meal for two for $15. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
Man, I wish I knew you were here. We hear that every day at In Stock Parts, located off Highway 45 across from the cold storage in Fort Smith. Are you a maintenance technician, landscaper, farmer, or a do-it-yourselfer in need of bearings, belts, or roller chain? Or safety supplies like gloves, safety glasses, or earplugs? Maybe you need drill bits, tap and die sets, lubricants, or even a gas-powered pump or generator. Don't waste your time driving around. Stop by In Stock Parts, your industrial parts resource, or check them out online at InStockParts.com. In Stock Parts.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
World-class trout fishing is the star of the show at Gaston's White River Resort, where a few days away from all the worries and stress will make all right in your world. Gaston's has friendly, experienced guides to help you land your limit. Enjoy your stay at Gaston's in one of their private cottages, or reserve a lodge for up to 20 people. Call now and let Gaston's help you plan your next getaway on the White River. 870-431-5202. That's 870-431-5202. Or learn more at Gastons.com. Gaston's, a first-class time, every time.
A new era of chicken is here to stay, and it's not your parents' poultry. The Cantina chicken menu from Taco Bell is slow roasted and perfectly seasoned. Take it tacoed up in a crispy white corn tortilla with cheese inside and out, or wrapped in a burrito with fresh purple cabbage and freshly prepared pico de gallo. However you like it, you'll never chicken the same way again. Get yours today at your nearest Taco Bell and join rewards to earn free food. Available at participating stores. Rewards points are earned on qualifying purchases. All items while supplies last. Subject to terms.
Courtside with Fort Smith Public Schools. Coaches take you inside on what's going on in Fort Smith sports.
I think the boys program, we definitely thrive off the energy and the emotion. I think as a coach, it's a big thing to kind of just help those guys rein that in, myself included. You know, there's times we have to take a step back, take a breath during a timeout, and just sit there and breathe.
New episode every week on the Hit That Line podcast network and on hitthatline.com. Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Except we've got SEC finals. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing. The SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush.
Outlet to Richmond. Billy end to end of the rim. It goes with a left hand. Billy Richmond from one end of the floor to the other.
Arkansas, one of the three SEC victors last night, along with Ole Miss and Missouri. Both teams got it done, and Ole Miss ends up winning on the road. Missouri wins at home. I know that's a hostile place that you have to try and win. Arkansas saw that firsthand, so that was a setup. Tommy, we've talked about South Carolina. That game's March the 1st. It's a long ways from now, but Arkansas, while it is a game that looks winnable based on the Gamecocks not winning a single SEC game, they have been in just so many. I feel bad for Lamont Paris. I think he won Coach of the Year last year, and then now they have a season like this. It's really the opposite of Dennis Gates. Dennis Gates and company went 0-18 last year, and now they're really good. Lamont Paris and company were really good and really solid last year, and then have had the season they've had thus far.
Scares me to death because I don't want to be the first team to give South Carolina victory, and that's still, regardless if they win one or maybe even two between now and then, it's not going to be a quad one or even probably a quad two opportunity. So you got to avoid the 3 and 4 losses, the quad 3 and 4 losses, and that's the last kind of landmine, I'd say, from a net ranking standpoint on the schedule. So yeah, that's I'm getting worried. Just they play everybody tough and just come up short.
Hopefully they come up short once again when they host the Arkansas Razorbacks on March the 1st. I didn't realize till Tom said, I cannot believe Arkansas plays at 9 o'clock on March the 4th, which is a Tuesday night against Vanderbilt.
Yeah, nose goes for Hog Reaction on that one.
Vanderbilt's Central Time. Why are you playing that game at 9 o'clock on the SEC? Help me on this.
Because ESPN said so.
That's just so bad. And they've had,
you know that.
The late starts, though, man. Golly. That South Carolina game we brought up at noon, which is not that bad, but Jamie Christmas, 9 o'clock. And that's going to be a pivotal game for Arkansas. But maybe to your point that you made last hour, they've been playing better in the later games. So maybe that's the later they play.
Time of the day. Games.
Yeah, maybe the later they play.
Because they've had Saturday games that last, 2 weekends that have started in prime time, 7-ish, 7:30-ish games. Kind of started with a Kentucky game. I just think this team, I worry a little bit about how well this team will play at 11 a.m. at A&M.
Does that hurt Arkansas or A&M more, Tommy?
Arkansas, you're the one that has to travel. You're the one that has to sleep in a hotel. You're the one that has to get up early and have a team breakfast.
Even though it's kind of a sleepy Saturday game and the crowd's not going to be.
What's A&M ranked? 8th?
Are they that high?
Yeah.
Are they that high? Jeez Louise.
Now they're 5th in the league in the rankings, but they're 8th.
Golly, that's absurd. Think about that. Think about how crazy
5
that
at the
is.
top 8 in the AP poll are SEC teams. I think they're number 8.
Yeah, but of any team, that's in that top 8, who's most likely to falter early? That would be Texas A&M. It's in their DNA. It's what College Station is. I don't know if it's the water down there or what. Now, it's hard to make fun of them as an Arkansas football fan, consider we lose to them every year. Hopefully that changes in Fayetteville this upcoming season. I don't think I could I think I might stroke out if I watch that team lose again in the form of fashion that they have in Jerry World. But games in Fayetteville this year, we'll see if that has any impact on, for whatever reason, Arkansas losing to A&M every year.
All right, that's your SEC update brought to you by our good friend Jackie Mock and Mock Legal Solutions. They're in Fort Smith. They're also in Sallisaw, Oklahoma now as well. And they've opened that second location for our friends in Sequoia and LaFleur counties. And not only do they handle all family law, Jackie also has 13 years in car wrecks, slip and falls, and dog bite cases. So let them help you get through whatever it is and deal with the insurance companies and get you the check, even if you're involved in a wreck or whatever's going on. And they understand that times are hard, so they make it easier to work with Mock Legal Solutions. And they work very well with the working class, and that you can't afford a $5,000 upfront retainer. I mean, who's got that laying around? So they've got reasonable down payments. They got payment plans. They have flat fees, and they make it affordable to use a great service like Mock Legal Solutions. The laws have also changed, and yes, joint custody is now the default, but don't be afraid to go to trial and see the success and talk to Jackie about how they can guide you through that process with family law as well. 479-769-1505, 769-1505, or mocklegalsolutions.com.
A few changes for Arkansas baseball this weekend. The Razorbacks will play a doubleheader tomorrow starting at noon. We'll have most of these games this weekend for you here on most of these Arkansas radio stations, ESPN Arkansas radio stations, I should say. Saturday at 2 o'clock and then Monday at noon. No longer playing on Sunday because of the weather. Dave has already put out the rotations that's already been put out. Here's what he said about it yesterday.
We'll go with Gackle. Game 1, game 2 will be Root, 3 will be Wood, and 4 will be Bottle Cheese.
So we've talked a lot about Gackle, Root, and Bottle Cheese a little bit. I hadn't mentioned Gage Wood as much. I didn't know that he was necessarily going to factor in the starting rotation, but that's not the only time that's been said. I think Matt Hobbs has said it, and obviously, this is something you can expect to see this weekend. We'll see if the Batesville native factors in the rest of the way. But that's Arkansas baseball for you as far as the setup goes and everything else for these upcoming weekend in Baum-Walker. You think about the setup here at Baum-Walker Stadium, then you go down to Globe Life this next weekend. Some fun Arkansas baseball in conjunction with Arkansas basketball. And it's nice because you got two big time. And you think about the three big sporting events. I know when football is still going on during basketball, or once basketball starts, you kind of got that nice combination, and we got it the next few weeks for Arkansas baseball and basketball as well.
Yeah, and man, I wish one of these days I want to set my schedule up to go to Arlington, because I think if you just like baseball, you like college baseball, and you don't want to be crowded, you want to go to a good facility, obviously, play in a major league ballpark. So, but you're not gonna have, if you want to kind of sit by yourself, stretch out a little bit, you can do that. Just kind of pick your seat there. I mean, move around. So, and Dallas is a lot of fun, so I think that's going to be fun. But, again, back to what we were talking about with Tom Murphy a little while ago, whether you win all of these games or you split them or you maybe don't look as well as we think they should look early, let's not get too high or too low. I remember we were talking about, Hagen Smith in that rough first inning that ran him, on a bad weather day to begin the year. No one would have bet he was going to have the kind of season he ended up with. And I just think there's plenty of evidence both ways. We get too caught up in these early season games about what this team will or won't be. Oh, they go to Arlington and play well, and you don't get to the College World Series. So I know it's hard to keep emotions in check, but let's try not to get carried away.
Here's something I want to see what happened this year, and not necessarily with Kevin Kopps. Unfortunately, Hagan trailed off in his postseason. His freshman year was fantastic. He surged actually his freshman year, which most freshmen they falter when postseason comes around. His sophomore and junior year, he went down, and it hasn't just been him. I don't know what the deal is at times, and it's a combination of, obviously, you're paying better competition in postseason. Not that the SEC's bad or anything, but you catch teams at the wrong time, whatever the case may be. It's like whoever your alpha is, which I'm assuming is Gackle, does he have that same stuff at the end of the year? And I'm not just talking about the end of conference play. I'm talking about postseason. Does he still have that stuff? We talked about, Colin brought up a great point earlier this week, the reliability of like a main guy, whether it's Hagen Smith and then or Kevin Kopps, like we brought up. Like you've had the luxury of Isaiah Campbell and Blaine Knight where you just had an auto win on Friday. Like, can that guy, and I'm not meaning to put too much pressure on this California native who's only a true sophomore, but will he have that same it factor in postseason? Because I hate saying it, but it's reality. Hagen didn't his sophomore and junior year, and that hurt the team. And that's why they got bounced in Baum Walker. Not just that. There's other elements, to obviously. They couldn't hit. They went up against hot teams.
That's it. Couldn't hit. There's two sides to it. They, as much as they were relying on those guys, they also could not hit when it mattered most at the end of the read. They had nothing.
To your point, if I remember this accurately, and if it's not accurate, you can yell at me, scream at me, or whatever. Arkansas, of all 64 teams, I think had the worst batting average of any team in the NCAA tournament last year.
It was near the bottom. I don't remember his word, but it was down there. And surprising, they even were in a position to host. When you just think about that stat alone coming out of this league, it tells you how good the pitching really was. That you could win enough games to be in a spot to host, and you weren't a great batting team.
Yeah,
great offensive.
I think
team.
so. You think about batting.
Now, there's a difference in batting average and on-base percentage. We got to remember that, as well.
You're right. I think it's so. We're talking about the intrigue of this weekend for Alabama and Auburn. If you're just a casual college basketball fan, you're tuning in for that. I think about the intrigue of Texas A&M and Texas playing each other in baseball. Schlossnagle going up, it's his former team. Vitello and the Vols coming here. Texas now in the league, and everyone wants to beat Texas because they've got a really good baseball track record over the history of that program. I mean, there are some really, really fun series to look forward to here once conference play starts. There's no question about that.
These next few days, you're going to be bombarded with chocolates and sweets of all kinds. Why not do something a little different this year? Instead of taking a box of chocolates, maybe to your significant other, take her some ice cream. You could do the Pick Six at Andy's Frozen Custards. I mean, that's going to be different. And if you take it to work, then all of her friends at work will get a little bit of Andy's Frozen Custards. 6 of your favorite flavors be perfect for the Valentine's weekend. Where do I find it, Tommy? Well, they're easy to find. Andy's Frozen Custards has 2 locations in Conway, one on East Oak, one on Dave Ward Drive, also in North Little Rock on JFK Boulevard, and Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. The mix and match is perfect for this Valentine's weekend. Also, download the Andy's app from the App Store on your phone and get ready for a great weekend with Andy's Frozen Custards. Conway, North Little Rock, and in Fort Smith, walk up or drive through. They're ready to serve you at Andy's Frozen Custards.
Be honest, are you sharing the Pick Six, or are you just eating them all? Are you, if you get 6, are you passing them around, or are you just hoarding them?
It depends on if the kids are home. The kids are home, I'm not going to have a choice. They're not going to even ask. They're going to just dive in. It's me and her. We're going to share each one of them.
Yeah. One by one.
I'm going to let her pick the flavors. Yeah. So, be cool. So, all right, Matt and Phil, they're just out pacing the hallways, just waiting to get in here.
Phil's
just pacing up and down. Here comes Matt and here.
Phil gave me a gesture that I wasn't too fond
hurry up.
of.
I'm like, it's 10:42.
I'm on camera, so I can't give him the same gesture that he gave me about 10 minutes ago.
Halftime on the way just a little bit, and I'm sure a lot of baseball talk as Phil is giddy about the start and getting to do a doubleheader on the opening day. In fact, we'll be on.
No pressure, Phil.
Yeah, don't mess it up. We're going to be on an extra 30 minutes tomorrow. We'll walk you right up to the broadcast time at 11:30. So 30 more minutes of the morning rush tomorrow and on Monday. as well.
Let me just say real quick before you go into talk about Gaston's, it is going to feel weird being on an additional 30 minutes. We did 3 hours for obviously combination of hosts for 18 years, and now the setup of 2 hours. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how we're going to figure it out.
You're going to sit in that chair, and we're going to talk about Arkansas basketball and baseball for about 30 more minutes. That's what we're going to do. That's what you're going to do.
I'm going to write that down just to make sure I can figure that out.
Put that in your planner so you can check that
basketball and baseball.
I've never met a boss that makes fun of my planner more than you do for getting things done and having to check everything off. I am so
pride yourself
precise because I'm precise. How many times do you have to tell me to do something twice? In 7 years of working, what did you say?
Twice.
In 7 years, like, people make fun of me all the time. It's like, well, you're nuts. No, I'm just accurate.
But I'll say this: when you have failed on certain assignments, you are very quick to blame another on the team.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you have
Like,
someone
all right.
like at the ready.
Hold on.
Well, that's not my fault.
That's a good leader,
All
right
right.
there.
I mean,
Speaking of blaming,
you
by the
can't
way,
blame better than anyone I know.
And I don't mean to steal your thunder, Clint and Jacob, but speaking of blaming, I just got to tear into Ruskin and Zach for a sec. You morons! Like all you had to do was change out the battery charger,
Again,
and they didn't do
here
it.
we go.
It takes 2 minutes to do. And listen, I'm mad at them. I'm just disappointed in DQ. Not mad at her. I'm just disappointed. We had three
I'm sure she'll
or
never get
four
over it.
emails
That's
that were
harsh.
sent out.
Yeah.
It
That's really
was
harsh.
step by step of what you need to do. It takes
I
me
just
2
hope she
minutes.
can recover
I
from your
had
scorn.
to crawl to Springdale to get it done, and luckily I did. But my gosh,
Hey,
guys,
bring the violin in from the other room. You know,
there's a
Hey,
name.
no one can plug up a power
There's a-
cord quite like you.
There,
Apparently
it's not that hard.
Apparently it was.
Takes a 2-year-old to figure it out. And evidently between those three, again, not mad at DQ, just disappointed. I'm mad at
I
Derek
hope she can
Ruskin
recover.
and Zach Arns.
Hope she can
Angry,
recover.
writhing in anger this morning.
Well, maybe you need to work through your anger and maybe find
Go
your
fishing.
inner peace
Yes.
on the White River at Gaston's White River Resort. Would that calm you down a bit?
Yes, I was actually talking with James and Tyler about it. They're going to the White River next. Yeah, they're doing that next week.
Hopefully they're staying at Gaston's because they've got 80 private cabins and lodges. They got a great restaurant that overlooks the White River, and they can take care of all the details. You just call and talk to Cheryl or Jacob or any of the great folks on their team, and they'll put together the kind of trip you need. First thing they're going to know, dates, obviously, and hey, how many's coming? Who's coming? Is it kids? Just you and the wife? Is it a guy's trip? And they're going to set up the right accommodations just for that. You want to fish half days, which means 8 to noon, or you want to do the full day, which means you take a break and then you come back and you fish several more hours in the afternoon. You can do that one day and do half a day the other. So many cool things to do. And then they'll help you with your restaurant reservations as well. It's full service. And right now, ask about winter rates, which means you save money on lodging at Gaston's White River Resort. 870-431-5202. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
All right, you go do the research.
You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Now, for a limited time, employee pricing is back at the #1 fifth wheel dealer in Arkansas, Wheels RV. That's right, employee pricing is back, and you pay what our employees pay on a huge selection of select new and used RVs, plus some 2025 models included. You'll find all your favorite brands, such as Grand Design, Brinkley, Forest River, Vibe, Nobo, and Flagstaff. Plus, you get a lifetime warranty on every new RV sold. Employee pricing exclusively at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV, located 5 miles west of I-49 in Tawnytown. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Hey, Kraft Inc., I want to hang out with you and learn.
There you go. Our seminars are held weekly on Wednesday nights at the Golden Corral.
This is The Morning Rush.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will
Thanks
fill-
for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
The Dandy White Perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakhalin.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting in 2025. Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, BetOnline is your ultimate game day companion. With the largest selection of odds on everything from NBA and college basketball to the NHL and UFC, BetOnline continues to be your number one sports betting source. From every three-pointer to hat trick, BetOnline has you covered with odds, stats, and more for every game, every play, and every win. BetOnline. The game starts here.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Van. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
Eat Lux your way with the new $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes from Taco Bell. The $5 Classic box is iconic all over. The $7 Supreme box has your decadent favorites and then some. The $9 Discovery box introduces you to your newest obsession, like cheesy dipping burritos. Introducing the new $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes, only at Taco Bell.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
The Dandy White Perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakhalin.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting in 2025. Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, BetOnline is your ultimate game day companion. With the largest selection of odds on everything from NBA and college basketball to the NHL and UFC, BetOnline continues to be your number one sports betting source. From every three-pointer to hat trick, BetOnline has you covered with odds, stats.
Heartland Honda, Schlotzsky's, and Heart to Heart Pregnancy and Family Care Center. You go to hitthatline.com and help donate. Shows are competing against each other. It's all for one great cause. Make sure you check it out at hitthatline.com.
Yeah, it'll be fun to be there. And, Children's Hospital has been a special part of our state. It's great to have them in Northwest Arkansas. They're doing an expansion now, and we are honored to be a part of their Mediathon a week from tomorrow. So doing that. All right, more to get to here. Halftime on its way in just a minute. Go to LearNet.com if you're looking for anything when it comes to fishing. They've got all the best brands right there that you've come to expect. Rebel, Yum, Booyah, and more. Tackle box treasures you won't find anywhere else. And all U.S. orders over $35 get free U.S. shipping as well. It's all at lurenet.com. Tomorrow, our Fence Man Friday picks. We'll be looking at Bet Saracen, getting the lines, and you can look at all the college basketball this weekend there. Ty, I'm looking forward. It's going to be a fast break Friday. We'll get to talk about 1 versus 2 and baseball all in one show that's 2.5 hours long tomorrow.
What do you think Arkansas is going to be underdogs by?
6.5.
6.5. All right, 6.5. We'll see if it happens. All right, for Tommy Kraft and Colton Little, I'm Ty. Halftime, Phil Elson, Matt Jones coming up next.
The Booyah Finesse Covert Spinnerbait doesn't just bring the fight, it dominates. Choose from 3 blade options.